Well, hello there. Good morning. Trying to find a place to put my things here. Welcome aboard the lifeboat. This is Captain Calhoun speaking. It's a little dark in here today, isn't it? I think I unplugged my ring light, so we're just gonna have to stick with this for now. Maybe this one will work, huh? What is going on, folks? Dale Cox, Kevin Hawthorne, good to see you guys. Wow, that is so bright. It's not helpful. It's better than nothing. So we're gonna run with it. Good morning, Christy and Niece, Andrew B, Robin Miners, Matrix Rabbit. What is going on? I hope you're having a little bit better of a day, man. I have not read your messages from yesterday just yet. Yeah, I was going to do that this morning, but I wanted to keep my head in the game, so I will get with you after this for sure. Diane Reese, hello, hello. Kristen Melinda, Miss Sunrise Dawn. Good to see you guys. Today, is it a red filter? I don't think so. Does it look red? You know what? I'll tell you what. If I stand up for like 30 seconds, I can fix it. Because all we're going to do is move it around, which I have to move the mic for, but it's okay. We're just going to have to readjust. I stole the tripod with my ring light for my GoPro so that I can take apart the engine of my motorcycle video, which is going to be fun and also very trying. It's going to be a task. It's going to be quite the endeavor. All right, how about this? And now, when we adjust the light, it's coming from the right place now, so it doesn't matter. Okay, how about that, folks? That makes me feel better. You can see my beautiful face. Layla Bradley, hello, hello. We will not be painting today unless I decide last minute. We've decided on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then probably a day on the weekend as well. I know we haven't been keeping to that, but things have been a little crazy as far as scheduling and logistics. So, but yeah, so no painting today. We've also decided that I'm going to be playing a little bit of guitar after painting. Seems to be a hot request, and it did seem to go over pretty well. So we're going to continue doing that. It'll help me get out of my comfort zone, and apparently you guys enjoy it. So, Roberta, hello, hello, good morning. Kristen Melinda says, I have a gap in my schedule, so I get to hang out for a bit. Heck yeah. The back-to-back appointments for 6 hours. Oh my. I don't know how you do it, Kristen. Somehow, that's for sure. Well, today, I know we've talked about hopes and dreams recently, but we're going to talk about it again in a different light. Because what is recovery without success, right? What is recovery without my hopes and my dreams and my goals, right? I didn't get sober just to be a sad sack. I didn't get sober just to twiddle my thumbs and reminisce about the past and lament, the lack of a future, right? I got sober so that I could kick the world's butt and do what I want, I got sober so that I could live the life that I deserve to live. I got sober so, insert any inspirational statement there. That's why we got sober, right? That's why we're doing this recovery thing. So let's talk about hopes, dreams, goals. Let's talk about goals and recovery. The purpose of this exercise of thinking about goals, and is it an exercise? Maybe, maybe not. Goals give you something to focus on beyond just staying sober, right? Or managing recovery. We talk a lot about the present moment, right? This right here, this moment that we have the most effect on, right? We have the most power over this here right now, not the future, not the past. We have zero power over the past, and our future is going to happen based upon what we do right here in this present moment, right? So it's important, the present moment, but we talk about that all the time, literally every day. Today, we're going to talk about the future. Goals help us look toward the future, right? Because what is, again, recovery without something to look forward to? Like, why are we doing this, right? These are the questions. Recovery thrives in a routine. So working towards goals will also provide a sense of direction and momentum, which we sorely need, especially fresh off the wagon. You know what I mean? Fresh back on the wagon. Matrix Rabbit says, fell off the wagon because the fall in the tub. Well, man, I'm glad you're sharing with us. I am sorry that has happened. There's only one thing to do, though, bro, is to get back on the wagon, right? Get back on the horse. If there's anything that we can do for you, please let us know. Let's get some ones up for Matrix and anyone else out there struggling, all right? About 10 people didn't like my intro. That's okay. Bum, 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 bum. Sense of direction and momentum, right? Because again, I didn't get sober to not do things, right? I want to live a better life. I want to live my best life. Packer girl, good to see you. Scooby Lee. Andrew B says, hate to admit I've been in program for years, but had a few slip ups lately. This kind of thing happens, guys. This is a part of what we're dealing with. It's not bound to happen, but it's likely to happen. You know what I mean? And it's not the end of the day, end of the road. It's just a stepping stone, something that we can learn from. I have fallen off the wagon many times myself. And if you ask anyone, odds are that they have too. It's more likely that you're going to fall off the wagon a couple times than not. So do not fret. Don't beat yourself up. We're really good at that. Show yourself some grace. This is a hard thing that we're doing. And it's a marathon. It's not a race, right? It's going to take persistence and time. So yeah, be kind to yourselves. You deserve it, whether or not you've fallen off recently. All right. You all deserve the world. Scooby Lee recently had a cigarette. Annika, good to see you. Happy birthday, by the way. I have a birthday cupcake for you. Knitted by the great Blessed to Crochet. Just for you. Happy birthday, Annika. I hope that it is one for the books. I hope it's one for the books. Self-worth. Achieving even small goals boosts confidence and reminds you, this is important, of your capabilities. Because if you're like me, when you were, on the sauce, you weren't really stretching your legs. How do I say that? Your capabilities weren't really on display, right? We kind of had our capabilities hidden away, right? We were just indulging. So you may have forgotten. I know that I did. What your capabilities actually are, what you're actually capable of, the power that you hold within yourself, right? Goals are going to serve to remind us of this and also boost our confidence, right? As we achieve our goals one by one. Now, types of goals to consider, guys. This could be anything, right? This is also going to be very subjective to each individual, but I do have some examples. We could learn a new skill, read more books, enroll in classes, right? These are personal growth type personal growth centric goals, right? Maybe, enroll in classes, go back to school, read more books, right? Become more scholarly, right? Get back into some hobbies that I used to be into. Again, learning a new skill, anything, right? This is a novel experience. This is a double whammy. It's a goal that you're going to conquer as well as, I forgot what I was saying, health and wellness goals, right? Start a fitness routine, cook healthy meals, practice some mindfulness. We talked about mindfulness a little bit. I also recognize I didn't put the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing from yesterday up in the community. I will do that. Wanted to make sure you guys knew I didn't forget. What am I looking at here? Here we go. I'm getting confused. There's too many windows. Mindfulness. So mindfulness is a form of meditation where we just kind of observe sensations. This is something I used to practice in the shower. I would just let the water run over me and just kind of breathe and like focus on the water coming, or not the water coming in and out of my lungs. Focus on the air coming in and out of my airways, and like the water like dripping off of me, and just kind of like losing myself in the sensation of feeling. Very, very relaxing meditation, I have to say. I recommend you try it. It feels very nice physically and like in your head, if that makes sense. James Collins, what's going on? Aaron Card, hello. Did I see Nicola in here? I know I saw Nicola. There he is. What's going on? Welcome in hospital now for my own safety. My brain is now starting to simmer down. Well, I'm glad you're safe, man. I'm really glad you're safe. Sometimes our brains can be our worst enemies, especially again when we've got what's the way to say that? There's a technical term for it, but when you have multiple things going on, like I'm an addict and I'm also ADHD and I'm also possibly bipolar, right? Compounding issues. When you're dealing with multiple things at once, our brains can really fold under the pressure, I have to say. So I'm really glad you're okay, Nicola. Let us know how we can help, yo. Let's get some ones up for Nicola as well, guys. Why not, huh? Why not? Matrix, you might want to do some light stretching. I know I'm only 32 years old and I don't stretch and I do heavy physical activity, right? And I'm starting to feel like my left knee is going to go out. Like the fact that I'm not stretching is affecting my muscles and the way that my bone structure interacts with my muscles so heavily, even at this young age, right? So I can't stress enough how beneficial stretching is. It sounds corny. A lot of the most beneficial stuff that we're going to do in recovery is corny as hell. All right? I'm just gonna tell you. It's going to feel weird. It's not the coolest thing, right? To be sober and to practice sobriety, but it is really really good for us, right? It's what we need. So try not to feel embarrassed when you're doing this corny stuff because this corny stuff is going to save your friggin' life. I swear by it. I swear by it. But anyways, I think some stretching would benefit both of us, Matrix, quite a bit. Especially, I know that you're in a far different position than I am, but yeah, man, just some light stretching in the morning. The more that you do, the better, probably. I know that I intended to do some yoga this morning because of my knee. I walked to the store to get some caffeine, and I was like a hobbling old man. So I know the solution. I just need to stretch a little daily, right? Routine stretching. That's the hardest part for me is consistency. Health and wellness goals. Oh, we just talked about that. Mindfulness. Relationship goals, repairing trust with loved ones, right? Building new friendships, setting boundaries, all things that we have talked about at length. I'm not going to go into this too much, right? But this is an opportunity, being in recovery, to repair trust that we've broken, right? To build new friendships, right? To because we're probably going to get rid of some friends that we had because they weren't, they're still out there living the life. Now we get the opportunity to make new friends. And when we make new friends, we get to build it from the ground up, right? Meeting a new person, we're building a foundation, right? If we're going to be friends, our first interactions start to place the building blocks of like our relationship, right? Our foundation. So now that I'm sober and I have a clear mind, I can do that much more effectively, right? The quality of my friendships and my relationships are probably going to go through the roof if I, you know, stay in the present moment and practice these things. If I continue doing what I'm doing, I bet you money that the foundations of friendship that I build are going to be way more solid because they're not based on partying. They're not based on what I can get from you, right? They're not based on what you can do for me. They're based upon love. They're based upon genuine, heartfelt care, right? Anyways, I digress. James Collins says, I think it's very something to practice sobriety and sober living, silly awkwardness that resembles childlike behavior. So this is, I think, what we call innocence, right? This is definitely something that we lose in adulthood and something that we have the opportunity to embrace in sobriety, right? Embrace our inner child and regrowing. I love this, James Collins. This is a secret. This is a world secret right here. This is a universal secret, this childlike innocence, right? That's one of the reasons that novel activities and novel behavior is so beneficial, right? Because it brings us back to that inner child, that childlike innocence, right? Experiencing something for the first time is always magical. And that's definitely a childlike trait, right? Which doesn't mean that we can't have it as adults, doesn't mean it's bad for us to chase these things as adults. I think that if you think that, that's a construct. That is something that we've created that isn't true. What's a sensory room, Nicola? That sounds cool. Sounds like something I would enjoy. Oh, it's a rough day on the boat today, guys. I'm holding all of you guys in my heart. I'm gonna tell the admiral as well. Make sure that y'all are thought of and there's love coming your way. Rick Spicer, good to see you. Flick Fox. Music is my medicine too, Rick. 100%. In fact, I discovered Counterparts, one of my favorite metal bands, came out with a new album that I didn't know about. And I was listening to it this morning while putting the show together, getting so distracted. I tell you what, I'm going to squirrel off for a bit. We have a bunch more material to get through, but I'm going to tell you a story. I was putting this show together, listening to this new album from one of my favorite metal bands, and could not help but kind of go down memory lane a little bit while I was writing this Hopes and Dreams show. And it brought tears to my eyes. You know, where I'm sitting now and where I've come from are so black and white different. And I thought to myself, why is this so emotional? And then my response thought was because I want to be as far away from where I come from that it brings tears to my eyes. And that's this friggin' moment right here. You know, I'm not that far off the ground, but I'm off the ground. You know, I'm no longer laying in a ditch. And I was getting way teary eyed just thinking about all the stuff that I've been through, and now I'm actually achieving goals. I'm actually conquering things that were unconquerable in my life before. I'm becoming an effective human. I'm becoming someone that knows how to affect the change that they want, you know? And it's very humbling. It's crazy. It's a weird feeling. It is a weird feeling. And like my first instinct is to share that with somebody. And you know, there was really no one to share it with this morning. So I'm going to share it with you guys. Rick Spicer says, thanks, bro. Recommend a band for me. I immediately thought of you. Ginger, Judgment. What a strong singing lady. I love that band. I would totally marry her. I don't know anything about her, but she's beautiful and she can sing. So those are two I mean, obviously relationships require more, but I'm just being a little superficial. I love that band. Check out Counterparts. This is a band I was listening to today. A little bit different sort of metal, but wonderful. This band also, I feel like Counterparts is a Christian metal band or something because they do talk about God from now and again, but he's always screaming. So, you know, if you can't understand what he's saying, you wouldn't know the difference. But their new album, I believe, is called A Martyr Left Alive. They definitely have some strong imagery. But I think one of my favorite songs, the one that really brought me to tears this morning, was called Thread. And I was reading the lyrics while instead of putting my show together, it took me so out of myself I had to read the lyrics. I was hoping Jeremy Fowler would be here this morning so I could ask him because he recommended a band to me yesterday. And then when I went to look for it, I had forgotten what it was and didn't write it down. So I'm going to have to go watch the chat from yesterday's show so I can remember unless I see him later. Alrighty. Thanks for listening to that little squirrel moment. While I'm thinking about it, Rick, another band with a female singer, a couple of them. One of my favorite things is metal bands with female singers. Let's go with this band. This band is like ADHD metal. They're all the genres in one. I wrestled a bear once, and then Arch Enemy is like old school. They've got a female singer that just kicks major butt, and then there's one more that everyone knows Evanescence. That's not technically metal, I guess. There's another one though. There's an all-girl metal band from way back in the day called Kitty. They're pretty raw. They don't have a whole lot of post-production. It's got its own little sound. I don't know if I'm going to remember the other girl band right now. That's okay. I know, right? What a band name. I wrestled a bear once. And if you Hailstorm, yeah, definitely a female singer band. If you stumbled across this band, Miss Sunrise Dawn, I think that it might give you a headache. I don't know what kind of music you're into, but I picture you being a very sweet, nice person, and this is not very sweet, nice music. You know what I mean? I've never heard of that band, James. I'm gonna definitely check that out. I should be writing this stuff down. I tell you what. Good morning, Heather Rhodes. Good to see you. All right, I'm gonna jump back into this. I think you guys all have such great suggestions. I'm gonna have to write all this down. I love discovering new music. I tell you what, this band that I first recommended, Rick, Counterparts, I discovered them opening for a band that I paid to go see called Parkway Drive. They're from Australia. Wonderful, wonderful metal band. But I had no idea who this opener was, and they stole the show, man. It was so good. Instant fan. All right, all right, all right. A lot of their imagery is real dark. I mean, I guess that goes with metal bands, but they have a particular self-deprecating feel. I think that's what I would call it. All right, we're talking about types of goals to consider, right? Because that's what this thing's about. We're going to achieve things in sobriety, right? We're going to hit plateaus that we've always dreamed of, right? We're going to do things that we've always wanted to do that we weren't able to do because we were on the sauce. We were doing whatever we were doing, right? So we just talked about relationship goals. What about career and financial goals? Return to work, right? Maybe I haven't been working because of my disease, right? Let's return to work. Save some money, pursue a career change, maybe, right? A lot of goals are dependent upon financial stability and financial, like how much money I have, right? Well, so let's start saving. Let's put a little bit of dough away every time we get some dough and not pull it out for stuff, right? Let's find some sort of equilibrium where I can still pay for the things I need to. I can still splurge a little bit, right? But I'm putting away a little bit of money, even if it's 20 bucks, right? Even if it's 50 bucks, even if it's 10 bucks, whatever, put a little bit of money away consistently so that we're investing in our own future, literally, right? By putting that money away. And something happens or something comes up, we're ready for it, right? And maybe it's not even an emergency like a health bill or something. Maybe you have the opportunity to buy a house, right? Maybe you never know what the future could hold. When life throws curveballs, they're not always directed at your head. You know, sometimes they're going to land right in your mitt. You know, sometimes it's a curveball that you just didn't expect, but it's beautiful, right? It's wonderful. In fact, I think the more we involve ourselves in the present moment, the more that we are allowing nice surprises, right? The more we're allowing life to throw us those nice curveballs, which it's always going to throw curveballs, whether they're good or bad, right? But I think that being here in this moment and just like focusing on what I have control over allows those special sweet curveballs to come through as well. Creative and passion projects. This one's really close to my heart because it's one of the things that I've been doing in my sobriety, right? Where did I go? Writing, painting, volunteering for causes that matter to you, right? This is a passion project, right? I didn't start this thing, but I am now fully involved. This is my dad's dream, and I believe in it 110%. And this has done wonders for my sobriety. I am a very different person than even when you guys first met me. Every day I feel more capable. Every day I feel like my brain is more capable of handling the ups and downs. I definitely felt like a broken record for a long, long time, man. Whatever I did to my brain was not good, you know. I struggle with things, but I tell you what, I am getting better every single day, and the world is just a little bit brighter every single day. And that's not to say it's not without its ups and downs, right? I still have my bad days, but um, I've been indulging in these things, right? The fitness, the cooking healthy meals, the practicing mindfulness, reading more books, learning new skills. I'm literally doing everything on this list. That's where I got these examples from, right? And I didn't do them all at once, right? Where is this part that I wrote? I broke these big dreams into manageable steps, right? I'm literally doing almost everything on this list, but I did them one at a time, right? I still struggle with some of them, like saving money, right? Uh, Repairing trust with loved ones is something I struggle with a little bit as well. Consistency in every single one of these things is something that I struggle with, but they're all in my repertoire now, right? They're all something that I'm engaging in, indulging in, and I'm better for it. I tell you what, if you could just do one of these things, and then maybe next month you do another one, right? By the end of the year, you've got three new things that you're doing, right? Which is a huge difference. Life will literally feel different with three new activities, right? Anyways, that being said, get new hobbies, right? Writing, painting, volunteering for causes that matter to you. Volunteering is also service, right? And we all know the wild benefits of being of service. Um, Also, I have written here because it cannot be forgotten. Recovery milestones, right? Staying sober for 30 days, 6 months, 2 years, whatever, right? Going to regular meetings. I also wrote down here sponsoring someone because this was something that I believe in or believed in. This is something that I believe in. It's not something that we do a ton of here, right? It's not really something that we practice. But from the 12-step perspective, sponsoring someone is what makes the whole thing work, right? You are given knowledge and practice that changes your life. You therefore turn around and give it back to someone else that needs it, right? That is powerful and a genius system, right? So I think that a lot of responsibility comes with sponsoring someone, and we don't necessarily have the infrastructure to support something like that. So that's why we use the five method, right? The five, you got your five people that you can call and talk to about stuff, no matter what. And if number 1, 2, and 3 don't answer, maybe 2 and maybe 4 and 5 will, right? That's why we have five. Anyways, that being said, it was worth mentioning sponsoring someone has been a huge part of my recovery in the past, right? I was sponsored. That gave me my foundation. I never turned around and sponsored anyone, and I wouldn't necessarily consider this sponsoring people because I'm not taking the responsibility of y'all's personal struggles, right? But and maybe responsibility is the wrong word there, but I'm not involved enough to actually be a sponsor, right? But it was worth mentioning. It was definitely worth mentioning because of the power in it. Now, dreaming big in recovery, some questions that you should be asking yourselves. What kind of life do you envision for yourself 5 or 10 years from now? I I know damn well that it's not exactly where you're sitting right this second. You know what I mean? I know damn well your dreams for yourself 5 or 10 years down the line are going to be wildly different than this, right? Maybe not wildly, but they're not going to be the same. So what kind of life is it that you envision? Me personally, again, I would like to get as far away from where I came from as humanly possible. I want to get so far away that just the sheer beauty of the scenery brings me to tears. Because that's not where I come from. I come from dirt and grime and having nothing. Um, so I think I'm doing well on that so far. But what kind of life do you envision for yourself? And again, my example did not say a whole lot. That left a whole lot of room for details, right? There was literally no details. I want to be as far away from where I came from as humanly possible. I want to be so far away that it brings me to tears. That could look like a lot of things. And I'm not entirely sure what exactly it's going to look like, but it ain't going to look like what it did. It's going to look like this, but way, way better. Maybe with vaulted ceilings. I don't know. Maybe a boat, a real boat. But, honestly, find financial stuff and what's like material possessions are not really what light my fire, yo. The connections I forge with other humans are what really light my fire. Group activities, right? When I was in Breath of Fire and we had the world at our fingertips and we were about to go on a world tour. And when all that stuff was going down, I was on top of the world, whether or not I was drinking and drugging, right? That was bliss. Um, and if I had been of sounder mind, I might have been able to affect the course of that ship a little bit more. And I'm not going to dwell on that, but that's an example of what my vision for myself could be, right? Surrounded by wonderful people that make my heart sing. That's really it for me, I think. Very far away from where I came from. Miss Sunrise Dawn says, a peaceful life watching my family grow. That is humble and beautiful. And I love that. I want that for you. Arabian Bard, good morning. Not feeling very well, lurking at the doctor's waiting room. Well, I hope that you get good news, the Arabian Bard. I hope that we can get you well. Let's get some ones up for Arabian Bard. Hell yeah, James. Already on it. We only have today, says James Collins Cares. So if people are supportive and concerned about your well-being, they listen and share. To me, that's a sponsor. Well, interesting. Well, thank you for saying that. I definitely have your guys' back. I don't have a ton of power or like to affect your lives, but I'm always down to talk about it. And if there is a way that I can support you, I would love to do that. I tell you what. Robin Miners says the boat has changed me a lot. You are a wonderful motivator, Captain. That's definitely what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to come on here and get you guys fired up for your day, and also talk about something that maybe you could you could take a little bit of with you, right? Something that you could take and put to use. A double whammy, right? Expose me for all that I am. Yeah, definitely a self-deprecating band, 100%. Lisa Tarimble, I hope that you find some serenity today. You can call me if you need to. All right, Lisa. Got my phone working again. I'm sorry to hear that, Lisa. Much love. Sending all the love to Lisa Trimble. Millie the Dandelion. Hello, hello. How are you? Snuck you all in. Nice. That's so funny. I won't be too loud, I promise. All right, I have a few more things written here, I think. Maybe a bunch of things written here. Some questions, right? What passions have you put aside that you would like to revisit? Right? For me, that was music, that was art, that was literally everything that set me alight, right? Everything that lit my fire, I had put aside, and I'm revisiting them, right? You should too. Who do you want to be? How can recovery support that version of yourself? This was a big one for me because I talk about this a lot. I was not a very good person. I was a very different person when I was out there running and gunning. But who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? This is an interesting question. When I ask myself that, I'm not sure. James Collins cares. I hear you, man. I appreciate these kind words. Words have power. And you share good times and bad times with truth. Those words can help people. That shares power and gives us some. I'm very grateful that this is the effect that I'm having. Sometimes I'm not entirely sure, but I know that it's something that I need to do. So it's something I'm going to keep doing. I promise. I'm not going anywhere. Raving, says Millie. I wish I could go without getting wrecked. But alas, it's not to be yet. There is a future where you can live the life that you want, whether or not you're getting wrecked. And I think that you're doing what you need to be doing. I think you're on the right path. So keep it up, Millie. It's always a pleasure. You're always so bright and bubbly, and I love it. That says a whole lot, I have to say. Megan Jeffrey says, I'm getting back into some sewing projects, and it has made me happier. I tell you what, right? Creating, using my hands, building things, making things, serving my heart soul, right? These are very important. I want to be the protagonist, I think it's called. I could be the villain, James. I was always into the villains. Although when you're a villain, you kind of got to do bad things. And I'm not really into that anymore. I'm still a big Darth Vader fan, but you know, Jeremy Fowler, there he is. Hope the day is great so far. Bro, I forgot the band you recommended to me yesterday. Will you remind me? I went to look for it and I couldn't remember what it was. Don't look for me in the clouds. I don't know what that means. Yeah, our character arcs are way past the villain part, right? I like that. I like that, Annika. Start small, right? Break your big dreams into manageable steps. Life can throw curveballs, so we should be staying flexible. Again, some of these curveballs are good, some of them are bad, but we need to be able to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. We need the 5 Ds of dodgeball. We need to stay flexible. And remember to be kind to yourself. Progress is not always linear. Sometimes falling off the wagon is just a part of my progress, right? Sometimes it's just another lesson that I needed to learn. Just because I'm not going straight to the top or straight forward doesn't mean I'm failing, right? Again, progress is not always linear. Sometimes life happens in ways that we can't possibly understand, but it is for our benefit, right? So just stay a little flexible. Wondering by Sequoia, that's what it was. I love how they spelled that. Just completely wrong, Sequoia. Okay, it's written down. I will not lose it now. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. I was listening. I know I already said this, but you weren't here for it. I was listening to Counterparts this morning. and they came out with an album that I hadn't heard, and I was just like kind of crying a little, thinking about the places that I've been and the place I am now. It was really emotional. I was like thinking about my hopes and my dreams making the show. Kind of wild. Kind of wild. I learned the 6 P's, says James. Proper preparation prevents P poor performance. I do like that. And this is true. Performance, preparation, pardon me, proper prep. Preparating was the word I was about to say. That's not a word. Being prepared is a huge deal. That's part of what we're doing here, right? We're becoming prepared for life's curveballs, for sobriety, for this endless road that we're going to be walking, this marathon, right? Muy preparado. Millie the Dandelion says, but if I go out with work and music like that comes on, I feel high without the drugs. I think it's the association. There were years and years and years where I would get that feeling like an egg cracking on my brain. Remember that feeling? Of course you do. I used to get that from music for years and years after doing ecstasy. And it doesn't happen to me anymore, thank God. Um, at first it was like, ooh, a freebie. And then it became a pretty sick thing for me in my head. It wasn't healthy for me, I don't think, to like randomly be getting downloads from drugs I don't do anymore. But I can relate with that heavily, Millie. It's a thing. It's a thing. Yeah, me too, Jeremy. Jeremy says, oof, I feel that. Songs are like the number one thing to trigger emotions and memories for me. Every time, yo. The egg that's spot on. Yeah, we used to call it that. It was like everyone in the community that I was in when we were partying like that knew the terminology. Dude, this is that one song I was talking about. I resonate with these songs so much, but it's like I always, when I feel that way, I want to share them with someone, but they're so self deprecating. It's like, why would I share this with someone? They're either not going to get it or they're not going to dig it or they're going to think I'm in trouble or something. So I don't. I just keep it to myself. But I think it's because I can relate, right? Like whatever place that these lyrics came from, I've been there, you know? Whatever deep, dark corner of his heart that he pulled these ideas and this story out of, I have seen it with my own eyes. Caitlin, good to see you. Contact fears. Oh no. Oh, you mean the hospital? I thought you meant the lifeboat. I was like, oh no, we're not doing something right. Well, I hope you get out of there soon, Nicola. I hope that everything turns out all right. I'm sure it will, but sooner rather than later would be beneficial, right? It would be ideal. I promise, Millie, I will. Got to go prep for work. Thank you for your support, Kristen. We love you. I hope you have a great day. Good luck with your back-to-back appointments today. I know you're going to kick major butt and maybe not take names because there's the doctor-patient confidentiality stuff. But either way, you can kick that butt. I know you got this. Caitlin, glad to hear you're on the rise. I am super. Thank you. All right. Glad to hear you're on the rise too, Caitlin. I'm almost through these notes, y'all. I've been taking my time recently and it feels really good rather than like blazing trails. I don't know why I did that. It's probably because I was nervous. Staying accountable. Uh, the main way that I practice this is by sharing goals with people, right? Sharing my mistakes with people, right? When I come on here and like James was saying, I share my truth. That's me keeping myself accountable, right? I'm telling on myself. I'm snitching. I'm telling you guys, my hopes, my dreams, my fears, right? Telling you about little moments of weakness that I have. And I encourage y'all to do something similar to this as well, whether you're telling your family or one of your five, someone on the boat that you can relate with, that you care about. Either way, right? Share your goals with people that you trust. Share your mistakes and your fall downs, right? your shortcomings. Share it all. You don't need to be just downloading your whole life to people, right? But at the same time, when something impactful happens, feel free to share that with someone that you trust, right? Um, Whether it's good or bad, it's going to serve to keep you accountable. If it's good, it's going to serve to make you feel good, right? Because then you're going to get recognition from someone that you trust, which is going to doubly feel good, right? But also, if it's bad, then you get to keep yourself accountable because the person that you're sharing with cares about you, right? So they're not going to be like, well, heck, you know, they're going to probably say, "Hey, can I help? What can I do?" I've been there before, something like that. So by sharing with our friends, by connecting, by doing this here, we're keeping ourselves accountable. It's very important. I already talked about being kind to yourself. All right. Now I have some examples again of dreams in recovery. I think that's different because we were talking about goals before. So now dreams, traveling to places you've always wanted to see. I remember when I was in AA, there was this girl that I was friends with. Her name was Kira. And I remember we related, like we could relate with each other's like disease. Like when we were off the wagon, we kind of had a very similar way of going about things, right? We indulged in similar things in similar manners. So I mean, I didn't know the depths of her darkness, but I knew the depths of mine, and I assumed that they were in the same realm, right? But I remember, I don't know if it was a year or two into our sobriety, because we got sober around the same time. I relapsed, I believe, so I was a little bit behind her. But regardless, I remember pretty early on, she took this trip to Thailand and just like went out there for I don't know how long and came back and was just so happy. And this is what she did. She traveled to a place that she's always wanted to see, and she did not waste any time making it happen. Like in the first 2 years of sobriety, she was just out there in Thailand living it up. So if there's someone somewhere you've always wanted to go, consider going there. Consider what it would take to make that happen, right? If we go back to our earlier notes, something's happening inside of me. If we're saving money, if we're returning to work, if we're doing these things, we're doing a fitness routine, cooking healthy meals, the world's at our fingertips, right? We're going to be in a position where maybe we can go to Thailand or one of these places we've always wanted to see, right? If we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's, the world is our oyster, right? Pursuing higher education or a new career path. Maybe you want to go back to school. Maybe you want to, do something different with your life as far as professionally. These are all things that we can do in sobriety. This is something that I've been considering writing a memoir or sharing your recovery story to inspire others. I am already sharing my story, but I've considered writing it down. I think that would be fun. Um, and who knows? Who knows what would become of my book? Another example of a dream in recovery is starting your own support group or community project, aka the lifeboat, right? I know we've got tons of ripples out there that have started their own channels in response, right? Inspired by us or inspired by themselves, whatever the case. I'm not going to take credit for that, right? Because it's not my thing. Um, but you can do this too. I'm not saying you have to start a channel, right? But you can start a support group, a community project. Maybe there's what's it called? Like a community garden, right? Maybe there's a garden in town that's like a community garden, and you can go pitch in and do some gardening or something. Or maybe you can feed the homeless at the shelter, which I wouldn't recommend honestly, but I've done it. I have done it. Volunteer at the food bank. There's all kinds of stuff. If you go to a church of some sort, you can go volunteer down there. They always need help, right? There's so many things that we can do. Um, and I encourage you to do as much as you possibly can, right? As much as you possibly want to. Maybe push yourself a little bit farther than that, but building a happy, stable family life. This one is the last thing I have written down, but it is one of the closest to my heart. This is something I've always wanted since I was a kid and my family came apart at the seams. I've just wanted a stable family life, and never got it. So maybe I'll be able to create that for myself moving forward, huh? Paying yourself is an important bill, says Cindy. I agree. Do you still get nervous on lives, or do you think it comes naturally to you now? It definitely seems like you're a pro at it by now. I would be nervous. That's why I edit my videos. I'm definitely nervous every single time. It's not like it was. Um, But it's like a free fall moment. I hit that go live button and I hit the countdown thing, and I've got 30 seconds of just jumping out of a plane, 30 seconds of, all right, let's hit this vape like 5 times, let's chug some caffeine, and then it goes live, and then I have to, all of that stuff has to go away, right? And then boom, I'm in it. So that's kind of how it goes every single day. It's like the Titanic's going down and then we're live. Literally, I'm not exaggerating at all. It does, like, I now get excited though. Like I said, I've been waking up grinning. I did not wake up grinning today, but I woke up smirking. So very close. Um, but I will get excited before live. I'll start thinking about a topic and be like, "Ooh, this is going to be so good," and I'll start researching it and writing about it. And it's just that moment right before I go live. It's like, okay, this is real. This is real. It's always scary. And even like sometimes I'll lose my train of thought and get embarrassed and like feel weird and kind of get down on myself in the moment while I'm live. But it's definitely, again, it's not what it was. It's not what it was. I appreciate y'all being here for that journey and transformation. It's pretty cool, huh? I know it feels cool on my end. What's that? Oh, my phone makes all these new noises, and I don't know what they are. I don't know if switching from Apple to Android was the best choice. I mean, I'm not necessarily not liking it, but there's a lot to learn, and I'm like not very motivated to go into the settings and adjust stuff. And I'm getting notifications from every friggin' app on my phone instead of just the stuff that I want. Millie the Dandelion says, ironically, I am the mental health first aider at work. It brings me joy helping to help folks. I have to say, this is wonderful. Not only is this service in your wheelhouse, you know what I mean, something that you deal with all the time, right? Um, but it's also something you're doing in your professional workplace. I think that's awesome, dude. That's super cool. Have a great day, Scoob. I'm finding this out, Diane, and I didn't like Apple for a number of reasons that were very important, right? So, like, I'm sticking to my guns, but the learning curve is a little harsh right now. I'm so used to the iPhone. Brianna Miller says, "Happy birthday to you." Welcome in, Brianna. Was wondering if we'd see you today. Well, that's pretty much all I got, guys. What are y'all? What are y'all's plans for the rest of the day? Anything fun planned on this mighty fine Tuesday? I know I am most likely going to. Oh wow, that looks a lot different. I haven't observed the painting at all since we painted it yesterday. Hot damn, it's really coming together, huh? It's kind of a mess over there, but hot damn, look at that tree. Let's get some ones up for Miss Sunrise Dawn. She's got a bad ear infection and trying to take care of the hubby and the kiddo. Oh no, everyone's sick. I hope y'all feel better over there, Miss Sunrise. Ear infections are the worst. I have really sensitive ears, and when I was a kid, like I think I had like a wad of paper like shoved really deep in my ear, and I got this really bad ear infection, and we had to get the alligator scissors, is what the doctor called them, because I was a baby kid. I was just a kid, and she like put these scissors in my ear and grabbed the paper out, and then I had to have tubes put in my ears to make them drain, and now my ears are like mad sensitive. So when I get ear infections, it's the worst. The worst. I can totally relate with that. My first concert ever was a band called Elijah. They're not around anymore, and their music did not age well. They said some pretty crass things in their lyrics, but great metal band for its time. And at that show, my first ever concert, my ears were bleeding, literally, physically bleeding. And it's because I had a really bad ear infection. I had to like put eardrops in every morning for weeks after that. It was the most uncomfortable thing I think I've ever experienced. Pure evil, says Annika. Kiddo is good, but she's 5 and full of energy, and my ears are exactly like that. It is not the best. I really hope that you can find some some peace, some serenity. Are you? Did you go to the doctor, Miss Sunrise Dawn? You probably did. You're way ahead of me on stuff like that. If the ear infection is really bad, you got to get some like stuff to put in there. I think you can just click on his name, Monica. I think it's just James Collins Cares. I might be wrong though. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna turn Spanx Calhoun into Calhoun's Corner. So if you guys haven't checked that out yet, it does exist. We're not rolling it out just yet. I'm gonna give the channel a makeover, and my dad and I are discussing some ways to go about it. But eventually, we're gonna be doing the painting and any other things that I do that are not the morning show, that are not lifeboat stuff. We're going to be doing it Calhoun's Corner moving forward. I'm going to be talking about it every day until we roll it out. I'm not entirely sure what the plan is. I could roll it out right this second, but I think that there are some things that we would like to button up before doing so. So I'm just going to keep you guys apprised so you don't forget about it. And I think it'll be really cool to have my own thing where I can just kind of hang out instead of like when I'm doing the lifeboat, I'm concerned with, a number of things that I need to be watching, that I need to be aware of. I need to be certain that this is a safe place, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not saying that Calhoun's Corner is not going to be safe, but I'm not going to be as concerned with this, that, and the other. Right? I'm just going to kind of be hanging out. I'm going to try not to cuss, but I'm not gonna die on that hill. So it's going to be cool to kind of just let it go a little bit. And again, I'm not planning on cussing up a storm or anything like that. That's definitely not the case. But to kind of relax a little bit more, I think will be really cool to see and really cool to be. So there's that. Oh, that is true, Annika. As I was saying that, I was trying to like click on names and it just does this. So my bad. Headed now to pick up my meds because mama fussed at me for not taking care of me too. That is so funny. Your mom loves you. I know you guys don't care if I cuss. It's just I feel like it's a good exercise for me because when I turn this off, I have to say I'm a cusser. I'd be cussing. But I don't like that about myself, that I'm just a sailor, right? And I wouldn't say that I'm a sailor anymore. I do control my mouth when I'm on the boat literally every single day, multiple times a day. So that being said, I don't think I'm a sailor anymore, but I'm not afraid to cuss. I don't the level of cussing that I was at was very unbecoming. Not just of a ship's captain, but of the man that I want to be. How you like them apples? All right. Well, Millie says I used to manage electricians. Yeah, they like to cuss. I have had such interesting experiences being an electrician. Did you guys know that I used to be an electrician? I don't know if I've shared that with you guys. I hated it, so I stopped doing it, but I remember so many wild experiences doing that. My buddy told me a story about. I probably won't tell that. That's pretty dark. We're about light and hope and glory in the morning. I don't think I want to tell that dark story, but I was installing a solar system on the roof with my buddy Nolan one time, and I dropped a tool. The tilt of the roof was not very much. It was very gradual, and I had quite a bit of space in front of me. I dropped the tool. It's like sliding down the roof. I dove after it head first like an idiot. I landed on the ground. I've fallen off the roof multiple times in my life, multiple different heights. So I don't do roof work anymore. Fun facts about Mike. One time I fell off. We were on it was like a 2 or a 3 story. It was very tall. I don't think it was three. I probably would have broke my legs or my hips or something, but it was like 2 stories up on the roof, 10, 14 feet. I don't know. It was pretty high. And I was grabbing a box of material coming off the roof, going down the ladder. So I was like, kind of doing this number. I guess you can't really see my arm, but I was holding it and like kind of going down the ladder. And as I stepped off of the roof onto the ladder, so I didn't even get to the portion where I like slipped and I went down from that height all the way down. And like I'm pretty nimble, I'm pretty agile, and like I catch myself pretty good. I dropped the material and just kind of like looked down, and my heel of my right foot landed like this. There was like a there was like a little garden brick like around the garden, you know what I mean? Like to separate the sidewalk from the garden, right under my heel, and it jacked me up. I couldn't walk right for like months. Um, but I'm all good now. A lot of my bodily hurts and injuries, a lot of my discomfort today bodily is from stupid stuff I did in my youth. Facts about Spanx cannot fly. That's correct. I mean, I didn't do this very much, but I don't think it would have worked. Oh my goodness, come fix the temp controller switches for the elements on my stove. With the space we've got, a new one ain't an option. I wonder, temp controller switches. What is happening? Maybe I can troubleshoot it. I mean, to get in there and fix it, it is a risk, right? Because it's electricity. And if you don't have the skill set to do so, I wouldn't attempt it yourself, but this is probably not a super complicated fix. It could be, depending on the symptoms, right? But your temp controller switch is there's basically a thermometer and there's like a little computer. Um, and it reads the temp and decides what to do with it, right? So it's not a very complicated system, but you do have to understand how it works in order to adjust it. And also, I mean, again, it's connected to the electricity, so you would probably need to cut the power. I don't even know if I have the tools that I need to do these kinds of things anymore. They go crazy hot if they put high, then 4 to 5 for the two larger burners. So they're just not regulating properly. Is it electric or gas? I'm indulging because this is fun. I don't think that I can fix it for you. But I might be able to give you an idea. Yeah, electric, huh? Well, mine's electric too, I think. I wouldn't I wouldn't mess with it, Caitlin. I mean, I know you want it to work properly, but you're gonna definitely need someone that knows what they're doing. Appliances are also different than like I know you were playing, but I want to fix it. I would love to do that. Building stuff, fixing things makes me so happy. I pulled my ring light stand off so that I could put the GoPro on it. I'm going to take my motorcycle engine apart and videotape it. I think that'll be fun. So taking the stove apart and fixing it would make me so happy. I wish that I could fix it for you. But yeah, that's going to involve cutting the power and taking the top off at the very least. Maybe more than the top, right? You might have to take the burners off as well, depending on what's going on. But I imagine the computer, right? Like the switch itself is probably somewhere by the screen. It's probably in that top part. And I'm not telling you this because I want you to take it off and look at it. Very dangerous. The amount of electricity running through these things can be deadly. I don't know what amperage your stove is running, so it only takes a few amps to kill a person. You can withstand quite a few watts, but amperage, I believe, is the speed at which the power is moving. That's what'll get you. It only takes a few amps. Car batteries, dangerous, you know? James Collins sounds like he knows a little bit more about appliances than myself. Appliances always threw me for a loop as well. Um, Appliances and vanities. The lights in your bathroom above your mirror, hate. Hate, bane of my existence. One of the main reasons I stopped being an electrician was vanity mirrors. 1.2 gigawatts. That's right. All right, guys, hit that like, subscribe, and the bell for notifications if you like what we do here. It makes a big difference. Um, Thank you for being here. You guys are the best crew a captain could have. Shout out to the mods, everyone that needs some extra love today. I'm thinking of you. And yeah, make today great again. How about that? Let's make Monday great again. Whenever I quote the president, I'm making fun of him. I just want you guys to know I'm not trying to drive anybody apart. I think that the things he says are hilarious. And that's all. I hope you guys don't mind. I hope you guys don't mind. We're going to make today the best day. Monday used to be the best. No longer. We're going to bring that back. Monday will be the best Monday you've ever seen. Nobody has Mondays like this. Oh, it's not even Monday anymore. Yeah, it's Tuesday. That's right. Let's get some tacos. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll see you tomorrow morning where we will be doing this again, as well as later on tomorrow, we'll be doing art. So, hope you guys have a good one. Much love, guys.